We're starting in 5 minutes, boys.
Okay, thanks, Juanma. Really excited for the show today. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Whoa, look at this. Jimmy the Bag, a message from Gabe Morency. I wonder what this could all be about. Let's take a look at this, Jim.
What's up, Pete? I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is I'm coming to San Jose, Costa Rica. We're going to be kicking it live. It's going to be an awesome betcast, Super Bowl 52. The bad news is if I don't do well on the tables, I might have to borrow a couple of bucks and I might have to sleep on your couch. But either way, we're going to tear it apart, man. Super Bowl 52, live from Costa Rica. See you there, Pete.
Uh-oh, Jimmy the Bag. Gabe Morency is going to be joining us for our Super Bowl podcast. This is scary and exciting at the same time. Jimmy the Bag, what do you think? You looking forward to this?
Very much so, man. It's not a party unless Gabe Morency's down here.
You think you can handle hanging? You think you can survive an entire Super Bowl in the same room with Gabe Morency?
Super Bowl day's the only day you're allowed to get day drunk. You're allowed to get all fucked up. It's part of the fucking celebration.
I just had a brainstorm. You know what would be a great idea is if Donnie Rightside came down here too. You think he'd be willing to come down? I don't
Check this shit out. I'm way ahead of you, Pete.
No way.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm in. Send me down there. Costa Rica, let's do it. February 4th, Super Bowl Sunday, live betcast. We'll be there before, during, and after the game, breaking it all down. Let's win some money.
All right, well, it looks like we're going to have a full house for the Super Bowl Betcast, the official SBR Super Bowl Betcast. There's going to be Jimmy, me, and Donnie, and Gabe, all powered by BetOnline, and it's going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Super Bowl Sunday, February 4th. Jimmy the Bag, are you psyched?
Psyched, man. Let's get that cash.
Sportsbook Review's Super Bowl Betcast is brought to you by BetOnline.
Watch is good. Hey, are we starting?
Yeah. We're starting.
Are we up? Okay. Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag Show, 6 o'clock edition, Tuesday, January 23rd. I got my moonshine, Jimmy the Bag.
Nice,
see, I understand. Look, that's your style. I understand. That's you. The Irish whiskey, Jameson is good. My style, moonshine, baby. Bootleg moonshine, motherfucker. With this got everything in it, but also some prune juice added in, so it's healthy. Yeah, hell yeah, I should market this shit. Loshak's moonshine.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Just keep the moonshine. That's
Yeah. Hell yeah, it's a moonshine, motherfucker. All right, so we got a lot of college basketball to cover. I got some picks that, again, you know, it's like I make these bets and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm on the right side. Should I give it as a pick? Why not? I think I'm on the right side. But listen, yesterday, I thought I was on the right side with Baylor. I thought I was on the right side with West Virginia, but I wasn't. I thought I was on the right side with the West Virginia under, and I was. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, there's some ups, some downs, some ups, some downs. Like I'm happy that that everyone is enjoying the.
Dan Kelly calls it prune shine.
Prune shine, baby, motherfucker. Prune, hell yeah. These commenters are good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
We got some of the best motherfucking commenters in the motherfucking world. Prune shine, this is my prune shine, baby. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
That's good.
I'm telling you, man, we got to make a fucking sports betting about Costa Rica movie. We got to make the movie, Jim. We could either make it a comedy, we could make it a drama if you want.
Well, it's got to be. There's got to be some really sad parts.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yes. All right. Oh my God! Look at this. Sean, no 53. Low shine.
Low shine is good. Prune shine is good. We got a message from Larry.
Before we start, there's some guy called YYC Golfer. He's saying that I better be as good as Juanma.
Yeah,
Motherfucker, Juanma should learn from me.
Yeah,
they're big shoes to fill, Larry.
I mean,
Juanma, for fuck's sake.
Larry's English is a lot better than Juanma's, so that puts him at a significant disadvantage.
Already, it sounds less funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I can talk like this too.
Yeah, you know, yeah. People like the authentic, strong, fucked up accent. There's no way you can really fake it. I don't know, man. You know. Anyway, so, okay. So we got some interesting stuff here, and I'm sorry. You know, today I know I don't look fucked up, and sometimes I try to I try to please the fans, the viewers, as much as I can, but you know, can't do it every day. But I definitely gotta shave at some point. We'll talk about that a little bit more. All right, let's get into the handicapping. How about that, Jim?
Let's do it. Some big moves. Obviously, everyone's been watching the lines. First off, I'm very upset that. Well, I mean, Kristaps Porzingis will not be playing tonight, so that first half over
is not looking good. I
would like him to be out there throwing, hitting big threes and shooting a lot. I mean, it helps the -8.5 that we have them on the first half.
-8.
You're right. Sorry, -8. I had to get -8.5 because I'm fucking local. But so that's not what I wanted to see. Then we've had the big line move in the Cavs game. I've already sent out 3 college picks, and I was afraid to send out 2. I didn't send them out, so I want to talk about them throughout the day.
I don't understand the over. The over isn't based on the Knicks. The over is based on the Knicks playing no D and the Warriors coming out firing. Is that not still feeling good to you?
I just like Porzingis going shot for shot with some of these guys.
You don't think the Knicks have other guys who are going to be able to do something and just like the Warriors just run up the score?
They have Hardaway. They have Hardaway.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
You don't think we can see like a 70-48 kind of thing? That's what we're going to need, is what you're saying.
That's what we're going to need, yeah.
Ooh. All right, okay. Well, we got it. All right. So let's get on to it. Yeah. All right. People just, the commenters just love this shit. They love this shit. The rotating cast. All right. How about let's start with college basketball, Jim? All right.
Let's do it.
A couple plays I think I'm liking. Let's start with the 6:30 games, though. Okay, Jim.
Sure.
I don't know, man. Arkansas, Georgia. I was leaning Georgia, but that might be just an obvious, sort of trappy play to take, a small home favorite like that against Arkansas. Arkansas, a good team, not a great team, though. Why do we not like Georgia here? You like Georgia?
I left the Arkansas-Georgia game alone. There's only so much time in the day, and I skipped that. I know a couple people on Georgia, but I didn't cap the game.
Yeah, I was thinking about Georgia. Maybe I will let me bring up the picks that I actually bet. And then let's move on to Providence-Villanova. Obviously, Villanova is deadly from outside. I was thinking that at first maybe the line's too big. Now I'm thinking Villanova probably rolls. And I was thinking about the over. Why would we not like the over here, Jim?
Well, they're going to be buckets. Villanova completed their non-conference schedule 13-0. Came off an easy 81-61 victory at UConn. It really showed what type of team this Villanova Wildcat team is, because they out-rebounded UConn 48-32. They're a smaller team, so that's impressive. They were up 39-18 at the half, and it only hit 37% from the field. 8th time in the last 9 games that Nova hit at least 10 threes. Providence has won 4 straight, coming off a big 14-point victory over Creighton, although the Crampel injury is devastating to Creighton. Providence has Kyron Cartwright running the show. Little guy, 11.6 points, 6.4 assists. And then they have some nice length. They have Bullock at 6'8", Diallo and Lindsay at 6'7". All 3 average double figures, can get boards. They either put 6'9" Khalif Young or 6'10" freshman Nate Wilson with them. Villanova does not have a lot of hype, still managed to get boards. I think there will be buckets in this game. Have you made that play?
Yeah, I mean, I bet it. The first half over 71. As you know, Jim, I care more about the plays that I give publicly than the bets that I actually make, and I just don't quite understand why the total is so low, and why particularly the first half total is so low. And you have no real thoughts on it other than it might be a good bet, That's about it. That's all. I mean, I've left this game alone. I think Providence has value. My lean is that Providence can cover the giant spread. I like the way Providence is playing, but yeah, I mean, let's see. All right, I'll take it.
Beast is with you, says over is a good play.
All right, I'm going to take the Providence-Villanova first half over. It's all over the place, 71.5, 72, but Pinnacle all the way down to 71 minus 110. Let me see where this one opened. It opened at 71. See, and it's headed down. I just don't get it. It opened at 71.5 Pinnacle, now down to 71. But I'm going to take it. Providence-Villanova first half over 71. I'll take it. I mean, Villanova can hit these shots. You know what I'm saying? 71. I know they've had some first halves recently that were modest scoring that went to the upper 60s or whatever. But I'm taking the first half over. That's an official pick. Providence, Villanova, first half over 71, Jim.
Providence can score more than UConn, obviously, so I can understand the play.
Yeah, I mean, their game against Xavier didn't quite get to 71, but I'm going to take it. All right, so I'm going to take that one, and nothing from you on either of the first 2 games, Jim.
No, nothing from me. Nothing from me.
All right, so now let's move on to the 7 o'clock games. We may as well start with that Creighton game. Oh no, that's not a 7 o'clock. Let's start with the Creighton game anyway. Sure. A huge loss for Creighton. Obviously, St. John's having problems winning. They lost at Georgetown last game, but maybe this is a spot where St. John's pulls out a win. And they already met once this year. It was not quite. Didn't get to this total, and I was liking the under here. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I was on St. John's and haven't sent it in yet. Kind of got talked off of it by a couple guys, but I'm not certain that I will leave it off. St. John's has lost 8 straight. Creighton is small. Losing Krempel for the year with ACL injury is a backbreaker. In their first game without him, they got out-rebounded by Providence 40-27, and Providence is not strong on the boards. With Krempel injured, they start Ronnie Harrell Jr. They don't have any other rotation player over 6'5". They're in deep trouble moving forward. St. John's lost 2 tough road games. Now coming back home, 6'11" Tariq Owens has 25 boards, 17 blocks over his last 4 games. Who's going to stop him? Toby Hegner? I don't think so. I like this spot for St. John, but I wanted to say it out loud, hear what other people had to say. Jansen Bonzone says St. John competitive at home. Chris Barr says St. John sucks. Creighton should win. I got talked off of it. Ben Goldstein's I'm on Creighton. Luke Charleston says I like St. John's at home. They come to play. I mean, I was only getting plus 115 on the money line, and I just didn't have the confidence to make the play.
All right, I'm going to take the under on this one. 156 at minus 110 at Bookmaker right now. Other places have 155, 155 and a half. I did bet this one. I took the under. The first time they met went to only a 149. So, you know, this one might be close, but I'm going to take the under on this one. Not the first half under. I hope to God this isn't one of those games that's like 70 at the half and then scores 100 in the second half, one reason or another. But it could happen that way, Jim. But I don't want to double up. I don't want to take the first half under. So I'll just take the full game under on this one, Jim.
Scott Letty says Sharp's heavy on St. John's. Jansen Bonzen says I'm on St. John's. Mr. Gogster says I like the under here with Creighton.
Oh, who likes it? Mr. Gogster likes the under. Okay. All right. That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. Russell Beiswanger says Providence runs a zone, so maybe that means that they'll be able to oh, no, there you go. Native Queen says gotta lean to the first half over Villanova. Okay. All right, yeah, Providence runs a zone, and you know that can. I mean, Villanova can shoot over those zones, but sometimes those zones can be very tough. Like you see a lot of first half very low scoring games with Syracuse, for example. You know.
Flex Clip says St. John's under all day. History repeats itself.
St. John's under all day. Okay, all right, okay. I'm taking it. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Hold on one second. What the hell is going on? All right. Let me just. Let's figure out what the hell's going on here. All right, so I'm taking the under on that one, 156 and full game. All right, so let's see what else. What other games are interesting? Let's just find one of the. All right. Let's talk about it. Virginia Clemson. Obviously, a huge injury for Clemson. That's bad for them. The total. Some people were talking about the under on this one, and it's actually gotten bet up a little bit. It's now up to about 120 or 120 and a half, which is kind of interesting. And obviously, you can make a strong case for Clemson here, driving the dagger through any team, especially a wounded team in Clemson. What do you think, Jimmy the Bag?
I like the first game opportunity for these guys when they lose somebody extremely important. It just after a couple days, I think it weighs on them. After 5 games, they tend to really feel the missing link. But here, I think Clemson can step up. Now, I don't have the balls to take them against Virginia. 6'8" senior Dante Grantham towards ACL second half of Clemson's 67-58 win over Notre Dame. Who's going to replace his 14.2 points, 6.9 boards? So they have 6'9" senior Mark Donnell, 6'8" junior David Scarra. Combined, they play 27.5 minutes a game and get 5.9 points and 3.9 boards. But for one game, can they step up? Virginia has the #1 defense in the nation, allowing just 52.4 points per game. Clemson's 34th, but 3rd in the ACC, allowing just 65.2 points. And that number's been creeping up all day. It's Luke Charleston says Virginia's is stout on defense under all day. Jansen Bonzone says Virginia rolls.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, I know. Russell Beinswanger says the zone slows down the game. Yes, I know. And Native Queen says it's just a lean on the over in the Villanova game. Not going to play it. I'll go with it anyway. But I can see that one. Losing.
She's on Virginia first half and over 55.
Yep, there you go. Jensen Bonds on 60-38. Virginia. There's a predicted score. All right. Well, Native Queen likes the first half over. Yeah, I might look at a second half underplay on this one, depending on how the first half goes. Yeah, what do you think, Jim? Are you going to make a pick on this one?
No, not at this point. Yeah, the simple play is to take Virginia, and a lot of guys like Virginia on the first half, and I get all that. But I see teams when they lose a player that's very important to them, that first game back, they rise to the challenge.
Yeah, sure.
So,
and Virginia, once in a while, BC played them tight, somewhat inexplicably, I think. All right, so let's look for some other comments here. Everyone liking Virginia, I can certainly understand that. I'm going to pass on this one. Stephen Alaz likes Duke Wake Forest over. We'll talk about that one in a few minutes. Let's see. Other comments here. Yeah, under in Creighton game. And, okay, let's when a team, Mikey D says when a team loses a player, it makes sense they'd slow down as much as possible. All right, I'm going to pass on this one. You passing?
I'm passing on this
All
one.
right, so let's move on. Well, what else are you liking from college basketball, Jim? Well, I guess let's talk about Kansas, Oklahoma. We got to talk about that. Huge game. The line's gotten bet up a little bit from -1 to -2. I'm thinking Oklahoma might be the play. What do you think about that game? What's your take on that game, Jim?
I am on the Kansas money line in this game. Kansas, 7 foot, 280-pound center. Udoka Azubuike is a beast. Oklahoma may only have two bigs to throw at him in Brady Manick and Kadeem Layton because Jamuni McNeese is questionable with an ankle injury. Neither of them are within 65 pounds of Azubuike. Senior Devontae Graham, this is such a big game for this senior point guard. He's going to take on Trae Young, the guy who almost took his job. Trae Young almost came to Kansas, and now senior Devontae Graham will have a chance to slow Trae Young down to show what a senior distributor can do. Oklahoma's lost 2 straight games on the road. They're going to be happy to be back home. They have lost their last 2 games because their offense gets stagnant at times. It's hard not to sit around and watch Trae Young, and they do that. They do that too often, especially late in games. I'm on the Kansas money line. I think Azubuike will do a lot of damage. And Jansen Bonzone's all over Oklahoma. We're going head-to-head, but I got Mela Payless Way with me. Steve says Kansas all day. JP Fahey, Kansas. Alabama line, parlay. DJ Big Boss, I like Kansas. I understand that a lot of people like Oklahoma, but I think that people are just falling in love with that little point guard.
All right, I'm going to hold off. That probably has second half written all over it. Line is headed up. So right now we can give you the best line available, which is +125 at Bookmaker. Not too bad. Not too shabby there on that money line. All right,
I like it.
Jimmy the Bag to take the money line. I'm going to hold off on that one and look at maybe a second half play. All right, let me find a pick that one of these games that I was for. Let's see if all right, let's talk about Duke Wake Forest. Let's talk about Duke Wake Forest. Of course, they already played once. Game went to it was very close. Duke was about a 17-point favorite, and I think they cashed by 1 point. The total also went very close to the posted total in that one as well. Wake Forest, they can hit from 3. I was leaning under here as well, but someone else said they like the over. Wake Forest, I guess it's kind of tempting to think about taking them at +10. What's your take on this one, Jim?
It is tempting, but I need a few more points than 10. In saying that, I still don't really want to take Duke on the road at -10. These teams did play 10 days ago. Coach K missed that game with an illness. Wake Forest played well in that game. 36% from the field, 43.5% from 3. 7'1", 280-pound Darrell Moore was playing very well, but was in foul trouble all game. It was the only game in his last 4 that he didn't score in double digits. Without him on the floor, Marvin Bagley and Wendell Carter Jr. went wild. They combined for 45 points, 22 boards. Wake Forest has 2 other 7-footers on the bench. I think that they should keep 2 on the court at all times. Obviously, Duke is an extremely skilled group. If the spread was bigger, I would like to take Wake Forest at home, but I think this is a tricky spot. And if Darrell Moore had played more in that game, it wouldn't have been an 18-point loss.
Yeah. I wanted the under on this one. I got it at 164. It's now down to 158 or 158.5. I don't know.
Jensen Bonzon says, I think Wake Forest can take this. He says he thinks they can take it straight up. But almost everybody else is leaning Duke. And there's not a lot of talk about the...
Luke Charleston says, I'm leaning over on the Duke game. Jansen Bonzon says, Wake can shoot and they're at home. Okay. Ben Goldstein says over is good. Everyone leaning over. I was leaning under. I guess I'll pass on this one. It's crashed from 164 down to 158. But yeah, anything really could happen in a game like this. So I'm going to hold off. Once again, I'm going to look at a second half play here, maybe. And you're going to pass on this one or take it?
I'm passing on this one.
All right, Jim's going to pass on it. But most people liking the over, and most people here liking Duke. My lean would be to the under, and as far as the spread's concerned, I would have to have a slight lean to Wake Forest, but I'm going to hold off on this one for sure. All right, so I guess that just about does it for the huge games that we want to get to immediately. Let's start off with you, Jim. What do you want to hit us with as far as the play is concerned?
I am taking Kentucky on the first half against Mississippi State. Kentucky's unranked for the first time since March 2014. They've also fallen outside the top 25 of KenPong's adjusted offensive and defensive efficiency rankings. They've lost 3 of 5 overall. but they have a lot of size, albeit very youthful size, but they have a lot of it. They have 6 guys averaging over 4.5 boards a game. They have a 9-man rotation that's getting its footing with Jared Vanderbilt back in the lineup. They play well against big teams who focus on the boards. Bulldogs are one of those teams. Bulldogs have lost 4 or 5. Mississippi Big 6'11" Abdul Ado and Eric Holman will have a tough time with 6'11", 240-pound Nick Richards. If Holman wants to go out and shoot threes because he's having a great year shooting threes, the Wildcats have mobile bigs that can come out and defend them out there. Kentucky has to dig deep here. They just had a very, very difficult 24 hours explaining why they aren't in the top 25. They will come out flying. They have to dig deep here, and I think they will.
Okay. The first half best line right now will be at Pinnacle -4 plus 100. That game, I actually didn't get a chance to look at the at most of the 9 o'clock games. There are a few games I didn't get a chance to look at. If I like anything from the 9 o'clock games, I will definitely tweet something out. Northwestern Minnesota, obviously interesting. The VCU St. Louis game, I just missed out on my ability to look at that one. And Texas A&M LSU, didn't get a chance to look at that one either. But everything else, I did get a chance to look at. All right, let me discuss one game. I don't know if you looked into this one, but the Buffalo game. Did you look at that, Jim?
I didn't. I know a bunch of guys on Buffalo, and I wish I had time, but I didn't get to them.
All right. Obviously, Buffalo can roll. They're playing great this year, right? I think you've had them at times.
I have, yeah. I expect that we'll see them in the tourney.
Buffalo's rolling. Now, Eastern Michigan, not sure what Eastern Michigan is likely to do here. I know that Eastern Michigan in general is an under-trending team, but my leans here would be to at least to the over for at least the Buffalo team total over and the first half over, which is very low, and maybe a Buffalo minus the points as well. I'm not quite sure. I know that Eastern Michigan can slow things down defensively, but I'm not sure that that here on the road they're going to be able to do that too effectively. They went into Oakland. That was a high-scoring game earlier on this year. Long Beach State, they went in there. It was a high-scoring game. They went into Northern Illinois and Ball State, but those are different animals, obviously, than Buffalo. So I think I'm going to take the first half over here. I'm definitely going to take the Buffalo team total over, and I think I'm going to take Buffalo minus the points as well. What do you think about all that, Jim? Sounds good, right? It sounds good when I talk about it.
Makes sense. I think those plays make sense. Searcy says not touching Buffalo. I love seriously, we need more info. I love the way they've changed with the what's his name, the new point guard Wesley. I don't have it in front of me, but I love the way he's added to this team. Buffalo's a high-scoring team, and I like watching them a lot.
All right. I don't know why this total is where it is. Again, the first half total has gone down. It's now down to it opened at 71. It's now down to 70.5, 70, and you wager at 69.5. So I'm going to take that one. First half over 69.5 minus 110. I bet it at 70, and you wager has 69.5. That's headed down. I don't exactly understand why, but I will take it. And right now I'm just going to go to Heritage, and I'm going to take the Buffalo team total over. I'm going to find out what that is right now. Jim, if there are any comments coming in on this Buffalo game while I search for this line, I would love to hear.
Says Buffalo is like Ohio State yesterday, but still we probably need a little more information. Sam Wheel says, let's go Buffalo. So but that's about it. There's not a lot of talk on this Buffalo game.
All right, it's 81, which they have been eclipsing regularly. Not exactly sure why that line is as low as it is, but I'll take it. The team total, 81 minus 110. I'm taking it just those two ways. I'm not going to take Buffalo minus the points. Take the first half over 69.5 minus 110, and the Buffalo team total over 81 minus 110. And that's it for that one. Jim, you want to hit us with a play?
Yes.
Okay.
I am taking Texas Tech on the first half line.
Okay.
Texas Tech has lost 2 straight and 3 of 4. Their 18-point loss at Iowa State was very ugly. This just reminds me so much of me taking Texas yesterday. It's the exact same spot. They looked atrocious on the road. Now they come back home where they have looked very good. Texas Tech has 10 players playing over 50 minutes. They play fast. They can't afford to turn this into a 3-game losing streak. Oklahoma State is small. Their 2 biggest players barely play. Their biggest player in the rotation, 6'9", 250-pound senior Mitchell Solomon. He averaged 8.2 points, 6.6 boards. He matches up nicely with Norenzia Odiasi. Texas Tech guards have length and can defend. Oklahoma State just spent 3 days patting each other on the back after that Oklahoma game, telling each other how good they're playing. I think this is a spot where Texas Tech comes out fast and hard. I got them on the first half.
All right, best line would be -5, -105. -5, -105. That's the current line at Bookmaker. I was also thinking about maybe a shot with the first half over, Jim, even though Texas Tech can be good defensively. What do you think?
What is the number at?
65.5. So, you know, kind of a lowish first half total. What do you think, Jim?
It is a lowish first half total, and as Texas Tech is great at defending the perimeter, but I think both teams will play small ball. Wow, that's interesting.
That's interesting, right? It's intriguing. All right, why don't you scan for some comments that you think might be interesting while I do a little bit of a looking into some numbers here, and then I'll make a decision on this one. Any interesting comments coming in, Jim?
Yeah, Vitalis wants me to come to Sacramento as his guest. Like the sounds of that, man. I fucking love that shit. Reggie, who we love capping with, he's got his favorite, Talking NBA is his favorite play. Aspire to Elate or Twatty Latte. Bowling Green at Northern Illinois under 154.
Yes, I like that one. I got that one, but again, that's not 154 anymore. So if I give it as a pick, I'll have to give, I think, 151 or 150.5. I'll have to decide if I want to do that. But yes, I was leaning that way for sure.
Yes, Maxwell Smart says Buffalo at home is a beast.
Yeah. Yes, they certainly are. They certainly are. All right, I'm going to hold off on that first half over, although it's definitely intriguing. Let me look
Ben Goldstein's on the under in the Texas Tech game.
Okay.
But he does have Texas Tech.
Okay.
Blake Kersey's on Kansas. Nice to know that Blake's riding with me.
Yeah, the Northern Illinois Bowling Green game, I liked it. Actually, the Greek still has 152. I got it at 154. I'm liking it at 152, and I will add that one as well. That was a play that I liked. That was a play that I bet, and I will take it. Twate Latte, liking it as well. Very nice to hear. That's not bad how I delivered that one, right, Jim? Right, Jim? All right, under 152 minus 110. Bowling Green, Northern Illinois. I agree with that one. Under 152 minus 110. I hope, because like I said, Jim, these points and half points do matter, and yesterday, they mattered. I took the under in the Memphis game, but got it at 207. But when we were doing the show, I had to take 205.5, landed on 206, and I had to eat a loss. That's fucking frustrating. You know what I'm saying? These points and half points do matter, Jim.
Very, very much. Stephen Ala says, keep fading Vandy. It's an interesting spot. Vanderbilt at Tennessee. Vanderbilt had a rough year. Very rough year, but they're coming off a big 77-71 win over LSU. When these two teams met on January 9th in a 92-8, and this is, initially, I was going to be on Tennessee in this game. But when I dug deeper into this January 9th game, Tennessee won. They were down 10 at the break. Then they outscored Vanderbilt by 18 in the second half. They shot 56.6% from the field, 53.8% from three. They stopped using Kyle Alexander early, which is something that they have to do when teams go small against them. Grant Williams went for a career-high 37 against a small Vanderbilt front court. That made me think that, I mean, obviously they can't. That's an incredible offensive display. Their best player goes for a career high. They shoot 53.8% from three. That makes me think that I'm uncomfortable thinking that Tennessee will do that again. Now, I initially think Vanderbilt is bad, but Tennessee had to shoot the lights out to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always a rivalry game when these guys meet. You know what I mean? So even if one team has a particular disadvantage any given year, as we know in rivalry games, you know, in general, not always, but in general, expect the unexpected. So I'm going to stay off that one. I looked at it. I was actually, the first game was so high scoring, I was actually thinking maybe a shot with the under, but the total is so low that at like 142 that I'm not going to touch that one.
Wow. So Ben Goldstein, a bunch of people are on Tennessee. Lou Trustin says Tennessee looks promising, and then Native Queen comes in and says, like Vandy for the game and first half.
Okay, there you go. You know who I trust more in that spot, right? Native Queen, baby. That's right. But I'm going to stay off it.
Yeah.
Wisconsin against Iowa is a very interesting game. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pass on this one. The line has moved in Iowa's favor. Little Bunny coming in on them, which is understandable because they're at home. Not totally sure how much I trust that. Did you look at that game, Jim?
Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Okay. Wisconsin-Iowa, just an interesting game.
It's an extremely interesting game. And yes, I looked at that game, and I was thinking about all the things that we talked about, whether Wisconsin has turned the corner. Remember, we have that guy who goes to the school and said they have turned the corner. Teams also seem to have big bounce backs after getting beaten up by Purdue. And after Wisconsin got fed by them, they came out, beat Illinois by 25. Have they turned the corner? It's a tough call. We've been waiting for this young squad to improve. They only brought back one starter from last year's incredible team. Iowa's coming off back-to-back big losses. And Iowa's a difficult team to figure out. They lost at Rutgers by 16 and at home by Purdue to Purdue by 23. And Iowa can rebound. They actually out-rebounded both of those teams. But their perimeter defense is so awful. It's so terrible. So anytime Iowa plays a team that can hit threes, you fade Iowa. Wisconsin can't hit threes. Purdue shot 60.6% from three. Wisconsin does not have the outside shooters to take advantage of Iowa's awful perimeter defense. All that said, I can't make a play on this. These are, I don't know. Justin Searcy says, like Wisconsin aspire to a late Twatty Latte, likes Iowa -1/2. Native Queen likes Wisconsin first half under. Bonzone's leaning Wisconsin. Mr. Gogsterd said, I did take Iowa first half in full game. Chris Barr says, fuck Wisconsin. Iowa sucks, but they should win. Reggie says, like Wisconsin in that game, but it's just a lean. It's Twatty Latte is Wisconsin and Iowa under.
Wow.
Cody Brown says, I'm from Iowa, and I don't trust them, nor does anyone here.
Yes, indeed. All right, so some interesting stuff. I'm going to get to some more picks that I'm liking, and then we'll move on. Then maybe we'll revisit college basketball after a while. But let's just quickly scan some of these comments here. Yeah, a lot of people like the under. Native Queen likes the first half under. Spiritualate likes the under 142 on the full game. Here we go. Jake Bell says, I don't get to comment often because I'm rarely able to watch live. So I want to say, that this show and this group is the shit. Thank you so much, Jake Bell. And I know that I clap for all of the commenters in the group who appreciate that comment as well. Everyone seems to be leaning Wisconsin. Everyone seems to be leaning under. Yes, Luke Charleston says, asshole Pete, don't be a butt fucker, LOL. Yes, Luke Charleston, I wasn't saying I don't trust the other people. I was saying that what he was talking about when I said that I trusted Native Queen. That was because that was my lean on the game as well, but that's really based on very little, only that it's a rivalry game, and the first game was relatively close, and so I'm definitely passing on it, and I definitely didn't even bet it. Justin, seriously, I look at it, not touching that rivalry game. Yes, I bet rivalry games if I feel like I have a strong edge, but always expect the unexpected, Jimmy the Bag. You know what I'm saying?
There's a game I really need to talk about. Talk about it out loud. I was about to make a play, and I held on to it, and I want to hear what everybody has to say. It's a Texas A&M LSU game. So let's talk about it before I say, you'll probably understand where I'm going. So the Aggies lost to LSU by a point without Admon Gilder, Dwayne Wilson, and Robert Williams in the lineup. That's 32.5 points, 16.3 boards, 9.3 assists out of the lineup.
Yes.
Tremont Waters controlled the whole game, the pace of the game, 21 points. He went 5 for 9 from 3, 5 boards, 4 assists, because Wilson or Gilder was not there to guard him. They've got length. If you can get Dwop Deeth or Aaron Epps in foul trouble, LSU has a very difficult time. LSU has lost 4 straight, 4 of 6 in their last 3 home games. I wanted to take Texas A&M, but then when I went over the last 2 games that Texas A&M played with them in the lineup, it just wasn't that much better. Now, are they good, or do they want revenge for the 1-point loss in Texas A&M? I want to take Texas A&M, and I'm curious to see what everybody's saying. Joe D says, I like A&M. Jansen Bonson says, Texas A&M is healthy and will win. James Ross says, Texas A&M wins outright. What do you think?
I did not have a chance to look at that one because it was a 9 o'clock game. I wanted to get to it, but I just plumb ran out of time. Some interesting comments here, just very quickly. We're not ignoring it, Jim, but Maxwell Smart says Toledo, Akron, and Rider, and we'll get to the Akron game because Akron was also a lean of mine as well. The Rider game is interesting. I don't know if you looked at that one, but I'm thinking about taking the under on that one again. But McGogster says leaning Texas A&M, but didn't bet it.
And Twatty is on LSU.
I'm passing on that one as of right now. I didn't have a chance to look into it too in depth.
Oh my God!
What?
Oh wow! Inside information.
What?
From JP Faye says Waters is from New Haven, Connecticut, 20 minutes from me. He had a family member pass over the weekend. Not sure he is mentally there.
Wow.
I'm jumping on A&M.
And then Chris Barr says Texas A&M will get the job done. And Maxwell Smart, A&M all fucking day. Justin, seriously, I took A&M. Jake Bell, I'm leaning Texas A&M. All of a sudden, Texas A&M comments pouring in, Jim, one after another. Texas A&M, Texas A&M, Texas A&M, Texas A&M. 5 or 6 comments pouring in, cascading in, supporting Texas A&M.
I want to support them. I mean, sometimes when you're dealing with the death, you can become even more focused. I remember when I was playing hockey, my centerman, mom passed breast cancer, and he was at the rink every morning at 3:30 in the morning, and all he cared about was, now I don't know if it's a mom or whatever, but just because there's a death, sometimes you focus more, you don't focus less.
Sure. Yes, Philip Age, another comment coming in. I like A&M. They're all coming in, Jim. The Texas A&M support comments here. Everyone liking Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Maxwell Smart says he'll run into a fucking wall of it. He says, Maxwell Smart, all in capital letters. I'll run into a concrete wall if A&M doesn't win.
All right, that's enough for me. I'm going to take him.
He's going to run into a wall if they don't win. That's how much he likes them.
I don't want him to run into a wall. But
I mean, Jesus, I just want the right side here. I just want the right side. Okay.
And Neil Frank says, IT went off after his sister passed. I mean,
James Ross says, "Do it, Jimmy." All in caps. A&M all the way.
Yeah.
Reggie says A&M need a win bad.
Bonson says, "Look at that last tip on Houston, man. We all know what happened there." Reggie says A&M, need a win bad. Rob Job says tragedy is the ultimate motivation. Mm-hmm. I mean, the key thing is Gilder and Wilson can defend. Mm-hmm. And if Tremont Waters has his way, controls the pace, LSU is better than they should be. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, Osmana man.
Yes.
I didn't know he was banned. Who banned somebody for such magical?
Who banned Osmanu man?
Such a magical, uplifting comments.
Just because, people feel threatened by great art, by great poetry. Poetry is dangerous, Jim. What's more dangerous, a poem or a sword? A poem is more threatening to the elites, to the powers that be. And now Osmanoman is back. Why would for first-time viewers, Osmanoman used to post original poetry in our chat box, and I guess he was banned. Why would he be banned?
I don't know, but it's nice to have you back, Osmanoman. Yeah. Feel free to hit us with some magic anytime.
Yeah. All right, so up. DJ Big Boss, notes from ESPN. I've been with Oklahoma and Trae Young all week. Both players and coaches feel like they gave up easy baskets and failed to develop a rhythm on offense in these last 2 games. Okay.
Oh, Wanma band.
Wanma banned him? Wanma banned Osmanoman? Wow. Wanma really extending out his reach, right?
Oh wow, Damo put a grand on Texas A&M.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we do have to. Villanova started off bad. I didn't see it. So we do have to move on. Up. Here we go. George Hatzidaka says BMOC likes LSU. If he had to pick today, says A&M is not that good. Given everyone here is all over A&M, I will take LSU. Okay. There you go. Jansen Bonzone saying, "You guys rock." Philip H says, "Pete dropping them Shakespeare gems." Oh, yeah. Philip H underappreciates me. That's what I like about
love Phil.
Yes.
Vitalis says, "What the fuck? Why did someone just delete my comment?" I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What the hell's going on here?
Banned too? What do you mean,
going on here? Maybe Wanma is remotely operating some things from behind.
Wouldn't put it past him.
All right, listen, we got to move on. We got a lot to cover here, and I got a bunch of college plays that I want to get to as well. So what do you want to do here, Jim?
I am going to add both Texas A&M and St. John's.
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's find the current lines, because once again, we'll use absolute up-to-the-minute lines, not whatever the lines were a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago when we were talking about it. Let's find the best lines.
I want the money line on St. John's.
And Texas A&M. All right, the Texas A&M. Whoa. Well, I guess it's good or bad news. Texas A&M line is headed down. It's now down to a 2 or 1.5. It was up at 3, I believe, when we started this show. It's now down to a 1.5, minus 110 at Bookmaker.
Okay.
Texas A&M minus 1.5 at Bookmaker. You want that, Jim?
If Max is going to run into a concrete wall, and I don't want him to.
Yes. You want that one, Jim?
I do.
Okay.
Minus 1.5, minus 110.
Yeah.
And then I want the St. John's. I want St. John's to stop this fucking 8-game losing streak, and I trust it.
All right, best line, money line is at UWager, plus 115. Plus 115. Pinnacle has 113. Everyone else has 110. But UWager and Bet365 both have plus 115. And we don't use 5 dimes lines because they're not market lines. But if you do have 5 dimes, they have plus 120, which is obviously an even better line. All right, is that it for you, Jimmy the Bag?
That's it for me.
All right, here are just the games that I want to get to. Let's see. The first game I want to mention is Akron. Now, I did get burned really bad taking Akron at home when they got absolutely blown out by Buffalo. You know, they're not a great team, but it's a small line here, and they're at home against Ohio. Ohio can get beat. Maxwell Smart likes it. They're coming off of a win as well. So I feel like Akron should have the edge here. I think I want them a full game and maybe even first half to double up. Let me just find the best lines here. I will take Akron, and the best line is No -1. Oh wait, does Bookmaker really have pick 'em, or is this a typo here? Yeah, I think that might be off. I won't take that one. So I will take -1.5. Oh, the U-Wager has -1, -110. I will take that one. Akron -1, -110. Maxwell Smart, I believe, is the one who said he liked Akron, and I agree with that one. What happened? What happened?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Just people are giving an insight about these two picks because Rob Job just said that thinks I'm absolutely crazy for making this move. Sorry, so I didn't mean to.
No, that's okay. I thought, okay. And I will also, just in case, I will also take Akron on the first half pick 'em. First half pick 'em -110, and that is the current line at Bookmaker. So I like Akron, and I'm agreeing with Maxwell Smart, and I will take them there, even though it's cutting a little bit close, but I will take that one. Next game that I was thinking about, Miami, Ohio, Central Michigan, an interesting game. I was thinking about overs on this one, and particularly the first half over. I don't suppose you looked into that game, did you, Jim?
Sorry, which game?
Miami, Ohio, and Central Michigan.
No, I didn't get a chance to get to the.
Okay, all right. I am going to take the first half over on that one. Central Michigan first half over, and that is 66.5 or 67, but again, U-Wager has 66 -110, so I'll take that one. Central Michigan, Miami, Ohio, first half over 66 -110. I'm also kind of liking the full game over on that one, which is 141, I believe, but I don't quite want to double up on it, so I'll just hold off, but definitely a lean to the over on the full game on that one as well. Let's see, what else am I liking? Then the Ryder Fairfield game, very interesting. Maxwell Smart, I believe, said that he likes Ryder, and I took the under when these two teams first met, and the game went way over. And I'm thinking about throwing the under on again. I don't suppose you looked into this one, Jim. Fairfield Ryder.
I did not know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that one. Let's see if there are any comments coming in on. Let's see. Yeah, Vitalis says NBA in 15 minutes. All right, I will take. Gosh, I really want to take the under. I will take the under on that one. I'll just go on it one way. I'll take it on the full game. Let me just find the best line here for Ryder Fairfield. Go on it one more time. Who knows? Who cares? 157 at the Greek is the best line. So I'm going to take the Fairfield under. 157. Fairfield under 157. I'm taking that one. And then let's see what else. And then Ball State, Kent State. I was also leaning the under on that one. And yes, I will also add on the under Ball State, Kent State. Let me just find the best line there. Ball State, Kent State. Sorry, guys. I know we got to move on. I just want to. Okay, Ball State, Kent State. 147.5 -110 at a whole bunch of places. So Kent State, 147.5 -110. I'm taking that one. And then there's just one other game that I was thinking about, which is Missouri State Bradley. People were asking about that one. Slight lean to the under, even with the low total, and small lean to a Bradley -1. And I think I might take that one as well. I don't suppose you looked into that one, Jim.
Didn't look into the Bradley game. No.
Yeah, I mean, Bradley is, they're 7-0-2 ATS at home. So, it's understandable why someone would look at them as a no-brainer play at home. And Missouri State is good, but, they just lost to Drake, recently, and they can be beat on the road. They beat Valparaiso, but in general, they can be beat. So it's a little bit too obvious. It feels a little bit too obvious, but I'll take it anyway. If I have to eat a loss, I'll eat it. Bradley minus, let's see, best line here for Bradley, -1, -110. All right, hopefully that is not a super trap because, on paper, it's looking a little bit too easy, a little bit too obvious. Let's just quickly scan some comments and see if anyone.
We haven't talked about that Minnesota game, Minnesota Northwestern, and Chris Barrs mentioned a few times here that he thinks that Minnesota money line is the play of the day, the spot. And then this is a good time, I think, to fade Northwestern. And Minnesota, it took them a while to get over the loss.
Well, that's actually a later game. Let's go on to the other stuff, and then we can come back to it,
sure.
Okay? All right, so we will get to the Minnesota game. We'll come back to it after we touch on NHL and NBA. All right, so let's move on to NBA. There's only there's only 5 games on the card, right? The 7 o'clock game is Sacramento, Orlando. I did take the under along with our good friend Twate Latte, who liked the under as well. I got it at 214 -113. It's now down to 211 or 210.5. Very nicely done. Right, Jim?
Very nicely done.
Okay. And then, of course, the big game of the day, Cleveland against San Antonio. Can Cleveland finally get an ATS win in the morning show? I can't even remember. What was the general consensus? The general consensus was
everybody was
liked
saying
Cleveland.
Everybody liked Cleveland, but we stayed off it.
I mean, the problem is that, like, now they're going up against a team that is not a vulnerable team. The Spurs are never vulnerable, right? Especially coming off of 2 losses.
Yeah, and Bertans is starting tonight. I think that will be interesting. I'm very curious to see how this game will roll. But, man, I don't know how these guys – remember how much money they were throwing around on one guy was saying he'd put his salary on the Cavs tonight. I mean, that's just nuts.
Yeah, I'm thinking about not putting my salary on it, but making but which is actually wouldn't be that big of a bet, but not that much. I'm thinking about putting Cleveland on the first half, Jim, and maybe even on the first quarter. What do you think? But Godster like Cleveland first half, first quarter.
I get it, man. Coop Boy says, I love the Cavs tonight. I get why someone would be on it.
All right, I'm going to take them. First quarter, first half. Cleveland, first quarter, first half. I'm adding 2 picks here. I'm just trying to steal 2 units and add them onto my record, Jimmy the Bag. First quarter for Cleveland. No pick'ems. No pick'ems. It did open at pick'em. Wow. All right, yeah. Very recently, I could have had pick'em at Pinnacle, but now I'm going to have to take -0.5. All right, I'm going to have to take it. First quarter, -0.5, -109. That's the line right now at Pinnacle. And first half for Cleveland will be at Bookmaker has -0.5, -110. So hopefully at least one of those cashes. And maybe they'll both cash Jimmy the Bag. I mean, Cleveland still has LeBron James. They still have some talent. They can come out and explode on anyone. We've seen them already do it. In the Indiana game, they came out and exploded on them. And then it was the second half where they crashed. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I do. I'm going to stay off that game, thankfully.
Okay.
I've had some good live movement on my plays. I got Orlando -6.5.
And that is all right. So someone must be out for Sacramento then.
I can double check on that.
Because that would explain both the move to the under and the line move.
Oh yeah, George Hill and Kustaf Kofis won't play. Who cares?
Okay. All right. So yes, Jim is on Orlando -6.5. Now it's up to 7 or 7.5. I had the under. Go ahead.
And our Brooklyn play as well. Our Brooklyn play has gone in the right direction.
Yeah, that's right. It was it's still 10 at the Greek, but everywhere else has 9.5. So that's looking pretty good. Obviously, with Porzingis out, the Golden State first half and the first half over have gone up. We got it at 8. It's now up to 9.5 or 10. And the total. Let's see what happened to the total on that one. We took it at 117.5 -101, and it's right where it was before. So hopefully we get and maybe an 80 to 48 first half.
With this Knicks Warriors situation, Kyle O'Quinn is out too, and that helps our over enormously.
Yeah.
So, you lose Big Dick Zingis, but then you also lose Kyle O'Quinn, who slows everything down, bangs down low.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the situation we're in, but I'm definitely not going to take the full game on it.
Okay, so once again, to recap, in NBA, Jim took Orlando earlier in the morning show, -6.5. It's up to 7 or 7.5. I took the under at 214, -113. That's now down a few points. Cleveland, I just put on Cleveland first quarter, first half. Hopefully they will come out, and definitely the line. I mean, they opened as a 2.5-point dog. Now they're up to 2 or 2.5 market wide on the game. So we'll see how that turns out. Jimmy and I both gave Brooklyn +10 in the morning, and that is now mostly down to a 9.5 market wide. And I told you, man, I like the under in that one. I didn't give it. That's in my lean column, 213.5. Now it's down to 210.5 or 211. I'm not going to give that now, but I definitely like the under on that one. New York Golden State. Jim and I both have Golden State first half on the morning line at -8. And the first half over. And then Jim also has Boston at -5, which was heavily endorsed by many people this morning, right?
I think it's a really good spot. They have to step up. After what Horford said, I was like, wow. Now, of course, I can't trust them to do it in the first half. So you can only trust Boston in the second half. But I feel comfortable with the spot. If the Lakers weren't on this winning streak, as I said, I think it'd be a -7.5. So
James Ross says Knicks and Brooklyn are the plays tonight at NBA. Okay. Certainly anytime the Warriors are a full game favorite up into the 16, 17, 18 range, they can always be a candidate for, oh shit, Native Queen likes Golden State first quarter. That's nice, except for I like that, except you know what the first quarter line is now? It's probably like 5 or 5.5. Let me see what that is. Golden State first quarter, 5.5.
Wow.
I mean, there's only 12 minutes in the whole quarter. But if we have them on the first half, Native Queen, we agree with you. And, I could easily see them being up 37-16 after the first quarter. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah.
Which would not be great for the over, but, at least if one of them cashes, I'll be okay with that.
Wow, Big Boss comes in and says, I'll bet my left nut to be bashed with a spike bat that Boston beats the Lakers.
Okay, but they're a 5-point road favorite, though.
Oh, Wu-Tang reference. Right?
But do they cover? That's the problem. They're getting 5 points. I mean, they're giving 5 points.
Yeah.
Dale 04 says Leonard wants out from San. Does he? Is that true?
Well, we talked about it on the morning show. I mean, we don't know if it's as extreme as wanting out, but there's some sort of a disconnect going on with him right now, which really caught me by surprise. But when I heard that Aldridge wanted out this summer, I was like, man, maybe we don't know what's going on in San Antonio the way we think.
Yeah.
We think Pop does everything right, but maybe
not. Why would players want out?
Aldridge said he was overcoached. That he was just being overcoached by Pop nonstop, and he couldn't get in any kind of rhythm.
But his numbers are still fine, right?
No, last year. It was last year when his numbers fell off.
Right.
He was, 16.5 points a game, 7 boards.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe this is a good spot to start fading. Yeah. Maybe there's some turmoil, and maybe the ship is about to the wheels are about to come off the cart for the Spurs. What do you think?
I find it very difficult to believe, but we have to watch it quickly. Now, we only have 8 minutes till the first 7 o'clock games in the NHL, so can we just, because a couple of people have been asking if we could run over them.
Okay, let's move on to NHL. Let's start with the 7 o'clock games. Jim took Boston on the puck line, and let's see if that one, what did you get, 125?
Big move.
No, 118. You got 118, right?
Really? No, I thought I got bigger than that.
No,
I got plus 135.
135, right?
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
135. It was the other game that was 118 that you didn't want.
Yeah,
St. Louis, right? Jim got 135, a big, at least 10-point move. Well, the Greek still has 130, but a nice move in Jim's favor. Like in Boston on the puck line, Pittsburgh, Carolina. Jim and I both took Pittsburgh. I took a -1. Jim took him on the puck line. You got plus 190 there. That one hasn't moved, and that's it for the 7 o'clock games. You want to say either of those? Have anything to say about either of those before we move on?
I really like the Pittsburgh play. They've lost to Carolina twice this year. I think they're going to turn it around. I think a really strong play overall would be to bet on Pittsburgh every single game for the rest of the season. The Devils are going to fall off. Pittsburgh has to, and Pittsburgh might not even get a home ice advantage in the playoffs. Every team has games in hand on them. And Sid said that they've upped their intensity. Well, I forget what the word, but their urgency. They up their urgency, and Pittsburgh does this. They take the first half easy, and then they come on very hard.
All right.
Lee Davis says Penguins 24-5 after a road loss.
Jim and I are both on Pittsburgh. Jim's on the puck line. I'm on the -1 line. Jim's on the Boston puck line. Then moving on to some of the other games, Jim took 5 puck lines today. He took Boston, Pittsburgh, took Nashville, right? Nashville, you got plus 225, and that's moved about 5 or 10 cents in your favor. The fourth one you took was did you take Dallas? Yes. You took Dallas, and I went on it with him on the -1 line. That also moved a bit in your favor. I think you got plus 170 or something, or no,
here it's right here. I got
175, right? Now it's down to plus 160. So that's a nice 10 or 15 cent move there. And Jim also took Anaheim. Is that who you took?
I did.
Yeah, and that was what did you get there?
Plus 180.
Yeah, that's right where that is. We're not moving on.
And of all of them, I don't like the Ducks as much as the others. The first 4 I had a plan coming in with. And then the last one was something that we talked it through, and I'm okay that we did. I'm okay that we did. But I really like the Pittsburgh. And I know a lot of people were against me with the Nashville spot, but I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to come in tomorrow, and that's going to be a winner.
Okay. Well, there's a huge other rest of the card. Anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to comment on before we wrap up NHL, Jim?
Well, the only money line I don't have that other people are talking about, Chris Barr's on the Oilers money line, and Big Boss is on the -1 with the Oilers tonight following your move.
Yes.
And that was something I didn't do. I just didn't like the number I was getting. It's not that I don't think it's the right play. How can Edmonton get this much respect for the way they've been playing? And obviously it's people fading the
Buffalo
Sabres,
no matter what.
But they've won 5 of the last 7 times they came into Edmonton. And to be honest with you, I shouldn't say I like that Nugent Hopkins is hurt, but I just think that he's a soft player, and when guys like Maroon get hot, I expect Edmonton to go on some kind of run. Lee Davis says about the Nashville play, I like it. Jimmy Saros is a beast. Saros is playing very, very well, very well, and Rene's got to look over his shoulder.
Commenter Dom Ricci saying, "Whoops, I just saved the live chat." So oh shit! Here we go. Brent Brooks, Jimmy, Carolina is taking this one. There you go. What do you think?
I think Carolina is a good team, but you take Sebastian Aho. Now, yes, there was some talk about Hampus Lindholm in the early show, and he's a first round pick who's got size and can forecheck. But Sebastian Aho is big, fast, can do everything for you, and he's out of the lineup. And we're talking about the defending Stanley Cup champions here, and they do this before. When they won the Stanley Cup, that very first run, I don't know if it was 03 or whatever it was, they were plus. They were 77-1 at the trade deadline, and then they went on this huge tear. And this is a team that does it. Sam Wheel says, "I like the Canes too, Jimmy." We'll talk about it. We'll come and talk about it tomorrow. And I respect you guys. And if they do, if Carolina pulls this out, amazing call. But man, I like the Pens at home right now. And I think they're going to take care of business.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see some other comments here. Let's look into it. All right. Anything else that you want to? Let's see. Anything else you want to comment on, Jim?
Vancouver's healthy. And I don't want to do it yet because Bo Horvat needs to get a couple games under his belt. But I think that the market will be slow because we saw Vancouver in the first 25, 30 games of the year. They were giving us so much value on the road. We were hitting huge money lines with them. I think that will happen again in a few days once Bo Horvat gets more comfortable. So keep an eye out for that. And I expect a couple teams. I expect Anaheim to go on a run. And I expect Pittsburgh to go on a run. And I think Nashville... if you're making any kind of futures bet in the hockey, 17-1 right now on the Pens to win the Cup is a great play.
Okay, nice thoughts there, Jim. Let me find this friggin' comment that I wanted to read. Dom Ricci says, letting you guys know I still listen in for the NHL picks this time of year. I can't listen live as much in January, February, but always with you guys. Thank you so much, Dom Ricci. Really appreciate that.
And he's got interesting plays. Dom Ricci's on Rangers straight up.
Okay.
That's against the Ducks. That's fading me, which I don't like to hear. Then he's on the over in the Avs game, Avs-Habs.
Okay.
And under in the Vegas game.
Yes, I was. If that line was 6, I would have taken the under in the Vegas game. But at just 5.5, I'm not going to. And again, in the Rangers game, I did take the first period under 1.5 at just minus 108. So once again, Jim with 5 puck lines on tonight's NHL card. I'm on them with Pittsburgh -1. I'm on them with Dallas -1, and I'm on the first period under in Rangers Anaheim. And I can't remember if I took anything else. I think that's it. Right? Oh no, I also took the over in Florida Dallas. That's right. I think that one is okay. Let's see where that line moved. I got it at -111, and that one is right where I took it. So no movement on that one. All right, shall we move back, Jim?
Absolutely. And Brent Brooks wants me to know that DeSmith is in goal for Pittsburgh. I've heard really great things. A few of my friends are huge Pens fans. I've heard great things about what he's doing there, and I like Pittsburgh here, but I get you guys.
All right, so before we wrap it up, we can just go back and take a quick look at college basketball. Let's look at some line moves that might have occurred since we skipped over to hockey. Let's see.
Also, did you see the scores in these two games?
No.
Jesus, Providence is up 7 on Villanova with 7 minutes left.
Wow, okay.
And then Georgia's destroying Arkansas.
Yep, I liked, I know the first half under is not going to cash, first half over is not going to cash, but I like Georgia a lot. I bet that one, just gave it as a lean, and that one looks like it's going to cash. Let's see, any interesting line moves? Nah. Nothing really. Everything's pretty much where it was when we looked at it before. Everything's pretty much the same as far as spreads are concerned. The line move has moved slightly in LSU's favor as a home dog. No real movement in Duke Wake Forest. That's still solidly there at 10, which makes me a little bit nervous because my sense is that if the Sharps liked Wake Forest, then the line would have dropped down to 9.5, which it didn't. So that makes me think maybe Duke might be the play there because we haven't seen the line move. Sometimes line moves that you don't see are as meaningful as line moves that you do see, Jim.
Definitely.
Another very brilliant philosophical statement for me that I just made up, right?
It is good.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the porn that you don't watch can be as titillating as the porn that you do watch.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, let's see. Other shit. Pretty much not much line moves. Not much in the way of line moves here. Let's check in the way of totals. Maybe any totals. The Virginia-Clemson game's now headed back down a little bit. No more. Before it was 120 or 120.5. Now back down to 119. That might be the play there, Jim. Native Queen, of course, likes the first half over. A lot of times that is how these Virginia games go. Like there's the scoring in the first half and the second half are the same. So the first half over can be a good play and the full game under can be a good play. Let's see. Other line move. Wow. The Kansas-Oklahoma game. That total is exploding. It opened at 170. It's now up to 172.5, 173. So definitely the market expecting scoring there. Let's see. Western Michigan, Toledo. That's interesting. Yeah, the Eastern Michigan Buffalo game. Don't understand why that total isn't higher, but we'll see how that game turns out. Not much else. Not much else to report on, Jimmy the Bag.
I hear you, man. Billy T is sad and angry. We got a dislike because we didn't mention the Avs game. And he's such a whiny cocksucker about it. I say we don't talk about it.
Well, what do you think, Jim? Do you have anything to say about that one?
I do. I do for that whiny cocksucker, Billy T. Man, I'm afraid. Now, I know so many people have been banking off of the Avs, 10 straight wins. They've covered 7 straight puck lines. I just don't expect it to continue. I just don't know how. I mean, I think they're going to be a good team moving forward, but you're telling me that, and I love fading Montreal. I hate Montreal, but they're going to go into Toronto and then Montreal, and I would have to take them on the puck line because I don't like taking single game favorites. So I don't know. I can understand why anyone who's been backing them is playing with the house's money, and why not keep it going? I don't like jumping on a win streak 10 games in, you know, and I just feel uncomfortable with it. A tired team's coming into play. Carey Price, who's not been playing well. Now I understand if everybody's on it, and I can see that it makes sense, but I'm going to stay off of it.
Yeah. All right. And McGogster99 says, Pete, are you on Miami, Ohio Central, Michigan under? I presume he's asking that because he's on the under. Actually, I took the first half over, not the full game, but the first half over 66, McGogster. So hope I cash on that one. And and here we go. Big Dad 138 says, Avs reverse puck line is juicy. Yeah. A lot of times those reverse puck lines, especially with teams that are hot and then big road underdogs, can have great value. Great value. All right, Jimmy the Bag.
Billy T says, okay, I took the dislike away. So I apologize for calling you a...
Yes, thank you so much. But no, but it was actually... we should have... The reason that I didn't bring it up was because there was no overnight line for that one, I believe. Was that one of the games that had an overnight line?
I can't
remember. No, they did have an overnight line. We should have mentioned that a lot more because the Avs are a fascinating team right now.
Well, we did talk about it quite a bit
in the morning show. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Billy T. We talk about the pro stuff a lot more in depth in the morning show, and the afternoon show has a lot more to do with college in depth, and the pro stuff we're more looking at line movements and just sort of like reviewing and rehashing what we said in the morning show.
But yeah, and we got to this segment at 11:52. There's 12 hockey games. I'd love to talk about them for an hour. I really would, Billy T. So, and anytime you do want to talk about a game, just mention it in the chat, and we'll hammer it.
Absolutely, Billy T. We love you.
We do.
I love you. I love you.
I love you too, and I apologize. I've had a terrible month. I'm a little sensitive.
Yes.
I'm a little sensitive.
Jimmy the Bag's cortisol receptors frying as we speak.
I'm a little sensitive.
His the synapses in his brain getting fried as we speak on camera over the span of January 2018. All right, I guess that's about it, Jimmy the Bag. That's it.
As Buike just got an offensive foul 16 seconds into the game. That's very
nice. All right.
It's not nice. It's bad.
Hopefully,
it's very bad.
Okay, that's terrible. That sucks. Hopefully, we will come out to overall positive units today, and we'll be back tomorrow morning, 12 o'clock Eastern time.